Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Happy Tuesday, kids and kittens. This right here shows you everything you need to know about politics and all that is politics. Okay, I just want you to soak this up as the grim reminder.
The Washington National Cathedral tolling its bell 900 times to recognize 900,000 COVID-19 deaths. As congressional leaders gathered on the Capitol steps in remembrance for those lost to the virus. Health experts say many of these deaths could have been prevented, as just 64% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, along with just 39% of eligible children.
Oh, the grim reminder. Chad, you're not being very nice. Go look at the average age of the person, at or near what the average life expectancy is. I'm not saying belittling anybody, but I lost 2 people, not to COVID. But there's nobody outside ringing a bell. It's like the grim reminder of what? How many people do we lose a year to, I don't know, heart disease, cancer, diabetes? They're not out there every day going, oh, it's a grim reminder. It's all the people we've lost Parkinson's. But it's a political thing. And it's just so disingenuous. It is. And again, this is not something I think was fake. This is not a, that's hoax. It's this, that, and the other. It was theater after we find out, hey, this is what this thing is. This is what this thing has a potential to do. This is where we think we should go with this thing. The reality is after that, it became absolute theater. It is. Finally, people are saying, all right, we've had enough. Because people are bored. They're pissed. They're angry. They're sick and tired. They're not paying attention anymore. Hell, they're not even watching the damn Olympics, which is good. We're going to talk about that in a second. Not that the Olympics are good. It's good that nobody's watching it, but people are over this.
We certainly understand and have seen in polling that the public is tired of COVID. We understand that. So are we. And there has been some good signs recently where there has been a decrease in hospitalizations around the country. And again, we're in constant touch about what it looks like moving forward.
You're out of touch. You're out of touch. Other states are pulling things back because they're looking around, especially blue states are going, better figure something out. California announced yesterday, 15th, if you're vaccinated, there's no more mandates with your mask or any of that stuff. You can go in and out, do your stuff, right? You still got to probably show your vaccine card. But the reality is that people have stopped paying attention to it. Even people that once enforced it in insanity are over it. They are. Yesterday, Governor Murphy, New Jersey.
Because of the dramatic decline in our COVID numbers, effective Monday, March 7th, the statewide school mask mandate will be lifted.
Yeah. Why then? Why not now? That, to me, is the big thing. Why aren't you doing this now? Just get it over with. Pull the Band-Aid. Kids don't want any part of this. The battle's going to come when the mandates are thrown on there for vaccines for this. That's where the battle's going to come. Even more so than the mask issue right now.
Dr. John, what do you think about states rolling back school mask mandates? Is New Jersey on the right track here, or should they be waiting a little longer?
I think they are on the right track for a couple of reasons. Number one, they said they're going to go ahead and do it, but they're doing it in mid-March. And so it's not happening right away. It's happening in a little bit. They're looking at mask mandates being at a point where they think the cases are going to start dropping even more than they have already, and we're going to get to a level that's pretty low.
Yeah, because they're over. They're over it. They're looking around. They're reading the room. They're saying, oh, my God, we're already going to have troubles at the polls. And that, let's be real. That's so much of what all of this is about, right? The control and the power that they've grabbed for some people in the bureaucrats of the world. They've enjoyed that. But for parties, they're already looking up, and the head of the ticket, even though he's not on any of the ballots, he's on the ballots, and that's Biden. Right now, he's an anchor around people's necks. My friend asked me yesterday, what are politicians' jobs? And I said, your job is to get reelected. Anything that comes after that is just a bonus for people. But their job isn't to go do a job for the people. Their job for their party and for themselves is to get reelected. That's it. They don't owe anybody anything else is the way they look at it. So they go and they try to get reelected. This is all about reelection more than it is about science, because science would have said a long time ago. How many times do we have to tell you the masking thing that you guys are a proponent of for children isn't needed? It isn't. Oh, kids might get sick. Well, they could spread it. Then the teachers, they got the vaccine and they've got the mask. At some point in time, you live your life. But this is what it's all about. This is it. And the frustration is there. They're looking around going, what are you doing in real life for people? What are you doing in real life for people who are frustrated, who are looking around and seeing gas prices get ready to go through the roof, potentially? Why? Crude oil.
The geopolitical tension is fueling some concerns that Russia could react to potential Western sanctions by withholding crude oil from the already tight marketplace. And that's causing crude oil prices to rise even more.
Yeah. And they're going to continue to do so, as that guy said. The tension. Oil prices are going to bounce around for a little bit. But they're going to continue, I think, to hold steady and potentially move ahead. Why? Well, why wouldn't they? Today, they're down a little bit. Some people probably taking profits more than anything else. This is what people are caring about. They left COVID a long time ago. They're looking around going, man, gas prices have a chance to go through the roof. And now we got this insanity going on potentially in the Ukraine, which could cost even more lives and money because of crude prices going up. As we know, people like to freak out. Once they freak out, but Chad, this is bad. What could happen to Ukraine? It's absolutely bad. Do I think anything's going to happen of relevance as far as them invading and sending over 50,000 troops and slaughtering? What did we see yesterday? It was like 50,000 people potentially within days killed. I mean, that's estimates. Here's the one thing you can't do with estimates. You can't place any kind of numeric value on the people they're going to be fighting against. While the numbers would say that, and based on the machinery that Russia would roll through there, the reality is, as we've seen it over and over again, people who feel desperate, angry, with nothing to lose, and the potential of death are going to fight like hell. But any long, protracted issue over there is going to send the marketplace to the roof, which is going to make it tougher for you and I to fill up our gas tanks, which is going to make it tougher for you and I to fill up our grocery basket. Because as prices go through the roof, Goldman's calling for potentially $120. It's like $89, $90 right now. What that would do to gas is kick your bank account straight in the grundle because of how much petroleum is a part of everything. So, yes, Jen Psaki, when we look around and we're sick and tired of wearing the mask and we're tired of all these restrictions and we want to get back to life as we know it and realizing from the last, 18 months that this was going to be endemic, not pandemic, and that other nations across the globe like Denmark is in the worst run they've had with COVID. And they're like, yeah, screw it. We got to live our lives. But living their lives also comes with the fact that they're going to have to go out there and they're going to have to pay more for everything. That's the thing that's on top of mind of so many people, as it should be. I fill up like 2-3 times a week. And every week I see it. I'm at the point now, it's like, okay, I forgot to fill up at home. And I know I'll save 40 cents a gallon from where I live to Phoenix. So can I make it home so I can fill up there? Because it's so ridiculous. And now they're talking about $4 on average across the country, $5. Oh, mamma jamma. How ugly would that be? Ugly. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. A lot to get to today. Try to squeeze it all in. Blue states, again, saying, all right, we're going to get rid of the masking. What was it yesterday? Was it Delaware's? Like, oh, yeah, March 31st. I'm all just in time for summer. I don't get it. Again, I don't get it. More on Rogan, the Olympics. I want to ask you guys a question. I'm going to give you my assessment of some of the people that are participating for China. Because I think it should be talked about, because I do look at them as sellouts and traitors. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. MyPillow has got the deepest discounts right now on the Giza Dream Sheets. $39.99, 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like them, send them back. Your money comes back to you. Made here in the U.S. with the best cotton in the world, long staple cotton. Breathable, comfortable, lovely. You will enjoy these. You absolutely will enjoy these. You put them on your bed, and when you slide in, it's got this sateen feeling that is incredible. And the beauty is the deep pockets. They fit perfect. You never have to worry about when you wash them, they don't fit again. None of that stuff. Giza Dream Sheets, super deep discounts right now. Deep discounts across all the MyPillow products, from the MyPillow, the mattress topper, the slippers, you name it, they've got it. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson to save big. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, man! Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
It was just a lot of disappointment. You know, obviously you get to that point, you want to win, you fall short. It's motivation. Just learn that you got to keep working.
I'm gonna.
You know, that's what it comes down to. I felt like it was a hard-fought game. We just fell short. You know, they played better than we did that day. So, if anything, it's a learning lesson that, you know, when you get to that point, you got to give that much more effort. So, you know, that's about it.
Aaron Donald. Talking right there. I think today is the day when they have the big media day, Super Bowl this week. I wish they interview regular people in their regular jobs, like they interview athletes and stuff, and movie stars. So what's motivating you today? Well, you know, we're at Quick Copies, and we got to be quick, and I think we know that. And sometimes we're not as quick as we need to be, and so we're going to have to be quicker. That's why they call us quick. There's no excuses, none whatsoever. No more excuses. We got to leave it all out on the floor, and make sure that when you go home, that smock has been put through hell. What's it like at Liberty Taxes? Let me tell you. We got to leave it all out here. H&R Block. I try really hard. With the software we've got, I do the best that I possibly can to make sure that your life is great and that we can fudge all the numbers we possibly can to get you the most money back right now. That's what we're all about. We're trying hard. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Steve over there, he's not pulling his weight. Sucks. We don't, though. That would be great. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Oscar nominations are out, and I'm happy to say, again, I've watched none of these movies.
The most love for The Power of the Dog.
What's it doing getting mixed up with her?
The Western drama getting the most Oscar nominations, 12, including nods for cast members Benedict Cumberbatch, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons, Cody Smith-McPhee, and a nod for Best Picture, where it's up against Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, West Side Story, and the film with the second most nominations, Dune. The Oscars air March 27th on ABC.
Razzies are coming out as well. I just want to let you guys know. I've probably seen more Razzies than I will have seen any of these movies. And by the way, when you say it's a Western, it's not a Western. All right? A Western is what we think Westerns should be. There's gunplay, there's all kinds of stuff. Not once in a great while. It's not. It's not. It's like a weird love triangle. Yeah. No. Razzies, on the other hand, there we go, kids. 42nd Annual Razzie Awards have been announced. Bruce Willis dominates. Bruce Willis has become, I don't know what they're paying him to do these movies, but judging by the effects, they're pretty much all the money they have they're like, all right, we got $4 million budget. We're going to give $3,900,000 to Bruce Willis, and he says he's only going to work for 1 day. So we got to shoot all of his parts in 1 day, and the other 100,000 we're going to spread out amongst the 70 of us. Oh, no way. Yeah, by the way, don't talk to him. But the Razzies are out. I'm excited about the Razzies. I am. Bruce Willis has been nominated a bunch. He's kind of become a little bit of Nicolas Cage. Who's the greatest? The difference between Nicolas Cage and Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis, he just kind of does the same thing over and over again. And from what I understand, I don't think he likes making movies, but the money's probably too good to just, you got a weekend, you want to shoot a movie, I'll pay you $3 million? Okay. Where Nicolas Cage is like, I will shoot anything. You want to do a snuff film? Probably do a snuff film. Worst picture, Diane the Musical. Yep, didn't see it. Infinite, Karen, Space Jam, The Woman in the Window. Worst actor, Scott Eastwood, Rohar Treff, LeBron James, Ben Platt, Mark Wahlberg. Worst actress, Amy Adams, Jenna DeWall, Megan Fox, Tyra Manning, and Ruby Rose. Oh, these movies are spectacular. Worst performance by Bruce Willis in a movie 2021. Listen to this. He did American Siege, Apex, Cosmic Sin, Deadlock, Fortress, Midnight in the Switchgrass, Out of Death, and Survive the Game. Spectacular. That was like a week's worth of work. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet us. Speaking of unwatchable, nobody's watching the Olympics, and still chaos over there and craziness. But I got a question for you guys, because some of these people who are Olympians, including one today, who won something, born and raised right here in the United States of America. And, it happens a lot in soccer, but this I find to be, awful. And traitor is what I say. Talk about that. Some more Rogan stuff. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Reading an article. Bay Area calls on homeowners to help house homeless residents. What? Hey guys, we have screwed this thing up so much. You guys have you guys, it's kind of funny, but you guys probably aren't going to see the irony in this. But we are not good at this. I don't know if you we're at anything. We don't follow any of the rules we want you guys to follow. We let people run wild. We're really bad at doing the crime thing. And the homeless. Yeah, we got a lot of people. Urban campers, as my buddies call them. Urban campers, right? What is it? Unhoused? Is that what they call them? That's not homeless anymore. It's unhoused. Non-dwelling folk. So they're asking people, hey, could you, if you have a house, take in some homeless folk? Some property owners are renting out entire units in exchange for an agreement that the government or nonprofit will cover the rent. Others are offering up spare bedrooms in their homes, sometimes in exchange for a small stipend, and sometimes purely as a charitable act. It's all fine and dandy till Cracky McCrackerson destroys your casa. That's where we are. That's the Bay Area saying, hey, could we ask you guys to do us a solid as a neighborly gesture? I wonder if Pelosi's going to get involved, right? Because she's a Bay Area native, right? Maxine Waters, you're out there in Oaktown. Places like that. You guys going to get involved? Anybody there? Anybody over there? Anybody in that part of the place going to Just saddle on up and say, hey, we got 23 rooms in our place. We could spare a few. Yeah, I didn't think so. Didn't think so. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. The amazing thing that is the Olympics.
About 16 million people tuned in to watch Friday's Winter Olympics opening ceremony in Beijing, held amid coronavirus concerns and political tension. That's an all-time low for the program. According to data released by NBC Sports, it's a roughly 43% drop in viewers from the opening ceremony of the 2018 Winter Games.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, because first, it's the Winter Games. There's some truth in the fact that we just don't watch the Winter Games because who participates in the Winter Games? Like 12 countries, right? You got the Scandinavian countries, some Eastern Bloc countries, and a few European nations will send a smattering of people, right? Secondly, will participate mostly people from the East and the Midwest, even though they all live out here and train out here, but that's kind of the thing. Although I saw that our speed skaters trained in, Florida, like full time. That's where most of them trained because they're like, why? We could just go inside and do ice. We don't need to live out here. And then a few other nations participate. That's it. One thing we have, though, is we have an abundance of stuff. Access to the best trainers, access to the best training, access to the things that you would need to build an athlete. Think about building an athlete. It's not like, the old days where this kid's just got such natural ability. At some point in time, they need that help. We have a few. We have Yi, I think her name is, or Zhu Yi. She's 19. She was born in Westwood in Southern California, right there, Los Angeles. And she gave up her citizenship because after the age of 18, you have to choose. So you can't be a dual citizen in China. So after the age of 18, you have to give up your citizenship. And she did to compete for China. She ate crap the first 2 days, and the Chinese Communist Party had to step in on Weibo, their Twitter-like thing, and stop the disdain that people were having towards her. And I thought, I don't really care. I don't care. I care not all about you. Then you've got Eileen Feng Zhu. So Eileen here, 18, born in San Francisco, raised here. She is now competing for China. She won today. In fact, she won, and she had over 200 million people essentially go on Weibo and a few other things, and it destroyed their servers and everything. It was crazy. But I look at her and I'm thinking to myself, you want to go to Stanford, right? You want to do all of these things. You got the Presidential Scholar Program. You went to San Francisco University High School, and you chose them over us. You did. You chose them. So you won today. You got a gold in the big air. Piss off. That's it. I mean, that's your choice. That's your choice. In soccer, you'll see it. Guys they won't get called up for the national team of the home that they represent where they were born and raised, but their mother is from the United States. It used to be a big thing. So, my mom or my dad's from the United States, and they're offering me the chance to play. It's not like you wouldn't have played. You would have probably preferred to play for them, but they chose not to. No, you made a conscious choice to give up your citizenship and compete for them. Piss off. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I feel. You made that conscious choice. This wasn't us saying, now you're not good enough to make our team, but they offer you an opportunity. And let's be real. I mean, somebody would ask me the other day, would you have played for if Puerto Rico or somewhere would have made the World Cup and U.S. wouldn't have taken you for any way, shape, or form, would you have played in the World Cup? And I'm like, so they wouldn't take me, my home country. They said no. But I wanted to play in the World Cup so bad? I probably would have. But I wouldn't have abandoned my home country. They just didn't want me. It's not the same. If we would have said to her, you're not going to make it. I mean, look at the Chinese hockey team. None of those guys would have played for the U.S. or Canada. But if you look at the Chinese hockey team, there's not a lot of Chens out there. It's not. It's like over to Smith. Back over to Tom Roberts. Wait, what? Chelios' kid. The great Chelios, his son's playing for him. Well, nobody wanted them. They weren't going to make any other team. So, and it's not like you were born here, and I see that here with the United States national soccer team. You go look at Mexico's national soccer team, a good portion of them were born and raised in America. They could have represented either team, and we battle back and forth trying to steal each other's players because they were born here and they could represent either. And that pisses me off too. It's the country that you fled and your family fled, and you decide you want to go play for somebody else, and we're giving you the opportunity. It's not like we're not saying no. So when I look at them and I think to myself, piss off. You guys made your choice. You're traitors. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Speaking of the Olympics, Jimmy Kimmel, who at times I find absolutely insufferable, can be funny.
Friday was the opening ceremony in Beijing. It was nice. There were fabulous, beautiful people from all over the world, brightly colored flags, flamboyant costumes. It was the closest China will ever get to throwing a gay pride parade. So one athlete from Russia shared a photo of a meal she was served at the hotel. It was potatoes, plain pasta, some kind of charred meat, and then something. They're feeding them like divorced dads feed their kids.
Yeah. And we heard yesterday, we talked to somebody that's over there for ABC News, and he said that the complaints that are coming are simply the athletes inside these COVID hotels or when they're locked down, they're getting a certain type of food, but more than a few of them have noticed that the people who are either IOC members or members of the party who, are volunteering or working at the Olympics who also are in quarantine are getting something completely different. Like all this good food. It's crazy. He also said yesterday, and I found this to be interesting. So we asked him about the food, and he said, they call Chinese food over there. But you can get a lot of the same kind of like what you would think Chinese food would be here when you go. It's like Panda or your local place, and they give you, egg fried rice and stuff. He says that they have typical, what would be the Chinese food. And but then if you want Chinese food westernized, they have a westernized menu that is not the same. I'm like, I could see that. It's like when you go to Mexico. It's like I've been to Mexico 1,000 times. Never had fajitas in my life. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. One of the other things that I'm looking at, and I find this to be interesting, and we're going to touch on this, is the insanity of what's going on in Canada and the out-and-out bold-faced lies that are happening there about the trucker protest. And it's just not even close to being, it's like the media. Like, what are you guys watching? Because I'm seeing all kinds of stuff, and what you're reporting and what we're seeing and what even people that are on the ground are saying, even some of the residents, seems to be like so far from the truth. It's like CNN's running you guys. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. We're also going to have your Super Bowl breakdown. We're going to do a different situation every day. So today we're going to take on the offenses. All right, coming up, we're going to do offenses. We're going to do the Bengals, right? The Cardiac Kitties and the Rams. Built for this. Break down the offenses. Straight ahead. Calibrate. Losing weight. Tough. We know that. And sometimes you get to a point where it's not about losing 30 pounds. It's about having a real understanding that you need to lose body percentages. Like lots of it. And that's where Calibrate comes in. Calibrate's not like a diet that you would think of. It's FDA-approved medication. It's going to pair it with lifestyle changes, and it's going to reset your metabolic system and health. That's what it's about. It's simple and easy. You're going to get one-on-one video coaching, in-app tracking, a video doctor visit. On average, the earliest members lost over 14% of their body weight. Took them years to put this thing together. FDA approved. You know how hard that can be. But I'll tell you what, the amount of people I talk to who've joined this and say, look, it's lifestyle changes, but they're not drastic, fits into all schedules, and the weight is coming off. It is incredible. So right now, try it. Are you ready for this? $50 off your 1-year metabolic reset. Use promo code Chad at joincalibrate.com today. Promo code Chad at joincalibrate.com. Use Chad at joincalibrate.com today. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
Hundreds of LA County Sheriff's deputies will be helping to secure SoFi Stadium on Sunday, including quick response teams and a rescue helicopter that could move in a worst-case scenario like a terrorist attack or an active shooter. LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
Someone gets in with an explosive, that type of thing. So they're doing the screening of everybody coming in and weapons and all that, and all of our personnel on the ground. We're going to be very alert inside and outside the stadium.
His teams also have what they claim to be one of few dogs that can sniff out chemical and biological weapons.
Yep, got to watch out for all that chaos and craziness because you never know. But the Super Bowl is this weekend. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because just remember this. You got people that are thinking, how in God's name did some of these players get here, including one that's on the Rams, even though the Rams were favored to get to the Super Bowl by many. One of their players wasn't, Odell Beckham Jr.
You sacrifice it all just for these moments. So I know the opportunity that's at hand. I don't take it lightly, and I'm just going to find a way to give my very best game for one more game.
One more game. So he was drowning, if you will, one of the best receivers, talented receivers of all time, playing in Cleveland, and he and his dad were not happy about some of the stuff, kind of forced their way out of there. They released him, and he ends up here with the Rams, and it's a lease on life, and he has been, well, everything that is advertised. So let's break down the Super Bowl just for fun. Let's start first, though. This week, we're going to do it. Offense today, defense tomorrow. Thursday, it's going to be special teams. Friday, it's going to be coaching. And then I'll give you my pick. Going to be fun. Quarterbacks, let's start there. Joe Burrow, Joe Cool. Second year in the league. Guy is a beast. He wants to win. He loves to win. That's what he's doing. Winning. Period. He doesn't know anything other than that. And that's exactly what he has done. He has gone and won at home, then went to Tennessee and won, then went to Kansas City and won. The big issue is, can anybody stop Von Miller? And you know, you got Donald on that side, arguably the two best in the last decade to do it. They gave up 9 sacks to Tennessee, but they still won the game. On the other side, those guys are going to come hard, but as bad as they thought it would be in Kansas City, they get to them. And then they got Jamar Chase, electrifying rookie who everybody said was a bust in preseason because he was like, guy can't catch the ball. He hasn't stopped catching the ball. And it's going to be interesting. The whole thing is, and the way that thing plays out. They got a good receiving core, and they got Joe Cool. Other side, the Rams were supposed to be here. Their offense has been, well, good-ish, not great. The one piece they said they missed for a very long time was the quarterback, even though they were in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Goff couldn't get it done, so they traded everything. They don't have a pick forever to get Matt Stafford, and they got him. Matthew Stafford has been as advertised. He's got him where they needed to be, and the chance now is to get them to that place. Boy wonder genius coach that everybody's, picking from his tree of lineage and coaching. And Stafford together, the chance to get there. Stafford had played in the NFL for years and never even won a playoff game. Now he comes to the Rams. He's won three in a row. Now he's a chance for it. If I was to say who has the advantage right now, I'd say the Rams based on some of their playmakers, except for I can't go against Joe Cool. Something about that cat. But on offense right now, I think the Rams have a smidge of an advantage. We'll do defense tomorrow, 323-538-2423. Also something interesting for the Super Bowl. If you're looking for a parking space and you happen to be lucky enough to be going to the game, parking spaces on StubHub range from $200 to $4,800 for a parking space. Parking space. That's not ticket. That's to park. Homes around the area are also selling their parking spaces, and many of them will say they will drive you to the game, which may be your best bet right there. Not a lot of space there. Take advantage of it if you can, right? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Trade deficits swelling. Small businesses are hit hard, raising prices because of inflation. In fact, it's the most that we've seen a jump in prices in inflation since the early 70s. People feel it. Inflation is a real thing. For all the great news last week of the jobs that I think surprised everybody, I think a lot of that last week was simply because people are done. People are like, I got to live my life. I got to get out there. I got to live my life. This can't be it anymore. I can't sit here and continue to wait for something, the next variant, the next this, and they're seeing the rising prices of everything, chance that we could end up in potentially some sort of skirmish, or at least funding and or arming one side of a skirmish, which is going to cause inflation potentially to rise higher. And more the prices go up, then more and more it's a huge, massive issue for both sides, one to capitalize on and the other to try to run from when it comes to midterms.
President Biden's economic policies, unfortunately, have waterboarded the budgets of most Americans and most Louisianians. We see the official statistics, and the statistics are that inflation is going up 7%. And I understand that that's what the experts say, but most Americans know that inflation is much worse, much worse.
Yeah, our buddy Kennedy, he's normally hilarious. And that's that compound interest thing that we always talk about, right? So it may go up, just say 7% across the board, right? It could be 13% over here on this product, but 3% here. It could be 7% on this product and nothing here. But when you add it all up, it's 7% on average. But you don't go to the store and buy a singular thing, usually. You go there and you do it in groups of stuff, right? Like I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff and put it into my basket. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to scan it, right? Because I do the self-checkout. And I'm going to put it all in a bag myself. And then I'm going to leave. But what you're noticing is 7%, 12%, 3%, plus this, plus that, that over the numerous items you purchase, if you would normally have spent $100, it's not $107. Now it's $142. That's $155. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, to get to the store, that is in your vehicle. And in your vehicle, you had to put gas, and that's well up over 7%. People are frustrated. They are. And whether something we've always done, we give way too much credit to the administration for jobs, when by and large, we kind of do our own thing, right? Locally, you're going to have a much bigger impact on the local, right? Whether it's your state, your city, are going to have a huge impact on a lot of what you do. Look at California, right? Like their impact on people who are trying to do business there is tremendous, more so than the feds. But there are things that they can do. On the other side, we give them way too much blame. But there are also things that they can do that make things tough. But this is an issue because every one of us participate in the economy. We do. Wake up in the morning, we put on our clothes, we get in our cars, and we go to work. So we can make money, so we can pay for life. Sometimes you got a little bit of money left over, right? Put a little bit of it away. Get yourself a little something, something. We're feeling it in a serious way. And there are signs that while those numbers last week, at least the numbers on Friday, were pretty damn good and surprised everybody, the reality is there's some signs that stuff's starting to crack. And it'll be very interesting as we head into the summer. Are we going to see any dip on inflation when they start raising rates? Are we going to see any slowdown in certain parts of the sector that are putting pressure on many other people? And what is the lagging employment numbers? Jobs are there, but people being employed, that has a huge effect because of the trickle down, if you will. This person over here needs X amount of people to run his business at this moment in time, because he's got orders. He can't find that. So what's he do? He can't get all the orders out he needs. Who does that affect? The people that are waiting for it. Because they can't finish the jobs that they need to be finished for the people who are then waiting for it, who can't finish the jobs that they need finished. And it goes on and on. Biden, people want to hear. They want to hear. They hear about crude prices going up. They hear about the potential invasion of the Ukraine. What would that do? How could that hurt us?
It's hard for a lot of people to understand that events that are happening on the other side of the globe can impact the prices we pay here at the pump in America. But unfortunately, that is the reality.
Yeah. And part of that is the fact that the marketplace will drag. People on, around the globe who trade in this stuff for large companies and even smaller speculators, they will see an opportunity and they will panic. They'll either buy it or sell it or do something so they either can make a ton of money or get out and save their ass. And in doing so, that's going to send marketplaces. Then you've got to add in the fact that OPEC's not going to be doing any help for us, right? They're going to increase a little bit in March. But they have no need. They're enjoying $90 a barrel. Then you take in the fact that there could be something in the Ukraine. And if we start to return to work in mass more and more as workers are calling people in saying, all right, you know what, this latest variant has done its thing. It's time for us to get back. There'll be more people driving, which will increase more pressure on it. It all plays in. It does. So John Kennedy was right. We all know it's 7% in theory on a piece of paper, but that's 7% multiplied by a whole bunch. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows you Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Yesterday, the Biden, that's the president, was asked about Nord Stream 2. And this is that big thing with the Ukraine, right? So you got the German chancellor here, right? And they're worried. They took off 3 of their big nuclear power plants this year at the beginning of the year. And they're essentially saying, Russia, you're going to control all of the cards when it comes to a good portion of what we're going to be receiving from energy. And a big portion of that is Nord Stream 2, which is kind of the thing that in July of last year, when they agreed to allow them to have it, Everybody said the Germans pushed for it, Merkel. Biden said it was okay because they were really pushing for it. It wasn't all just, Biden's like, yeah, sure, we'll give you anything. No. But everybody else said, oh, yeah, you guys just gave them the keys to whatever they want to do in Europe now with this new pipeline. Biden.
Did you receive assurances from Chancellor Scholz today that Germany will, in fact, pull the plug on this project, Nord Stream project that you've long opposed, if Russia invades Ukraine? And did you discuss what the definition of invasion could be?
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine. There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
Will, that's good. That's good. But are we really going to do that? That's the thing that people want to know, because we hear a lot of stuff, right? The red lines have been drawn by many, many leaders. And then there's been, as they would say, the great Dave Chappelle, there's a bunch of habitual line steppers and nothing ever happens.
But how will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Germans would be not happy about that. But again, the Germans are not doing anything at all. They sent helmets. The Ukraine is facing almost insurmountable odds, and they sent helmets. Not helmet like a person. Oh, here comes a helmet. No, helmets.
Germany has been criticized for refusing to join the U.S. and the UK in sending military hardware to Ukraine amid worries about Germany's reliance on Russian natural gas and that controversial Nord Stream 2 pipeline from Russia into Germany. President Biden stunned the room with a blunt threat against the pipeline if Russia invades.
There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. I promise you we'll be able to do it.
Chancellor Scholz did not specifically respond.
Yeah. No. But we got your helmets, so thanks. That's nice. Idiots. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. All of it plays a part. All of it's got a domino effect. I don't think anything's happening soon. If it does, it'll be later this month. Not going to happen right now while the Olympics are going on, because Putin may need Xi and that Chinese money to help him out. So he's not going to take away from that. But would I be surprised towards the end of the month, especially as things cool down, that there may be some incidents? Yeah. And think about this. Along the border there, 14,000 plus people, soldiers and civilians, have been killed in fighting with Russian separatists since 2014, I believe. On a daily basis, they're losing a lot of people. That's already going on. Now you magnify that by, just multiply that by God knows how many soldiers they actually have. And you're surrounded by soldiers in several other countries. Belarus has a bunch now. This is the potential to get ugly, but you can't take away the fighting spirit. Some people were willing to go down fighting. And is that something the world wants? No. Is that something that the Russian people will accept? I don't think so. But with Putin and the iron grip he has on that country, you don't know. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, Nutrisystem. Now, we've talked about losing weight, and then there's, hey, I got to lose 30, 40 pounds, but I don't want to eat horrible stuff. Don't give me rice cakes. I get it. It's awful. Not with Nutrisystem. Nutrisystem is delicious. I love it. Everybody around here goes, what you eating? Nutrisystem. Looking good, down about 13, 14 pounds. Feel great. 50% off right now. Nutrisystem.com/Chad. You can save 50% on all the plans. But guys, let me tell you something. I worried about, first of all, the food's going to be crap. It's amazing. I worried about it's going to taste like cardboard. It doesn't. And then the big thing is it's not going to fill me up. It does. Nutrisystem's incredible. 30 grams of protein. That's up to 30 grams of protein with the premium meals, right? They got new restaurant faves. I've had burritos. I've had burgers. I've had chicken sandwiches. I've had meatloaf. I've had all the stuff I love to eat. I'm not sacrificing anything. I'm losing weight. Advanced nutritional science helps keep your blood sugar steady. You start to lose that weight, And here's something else, guys, delivered right to your door. Oh, yep. Right, so you get your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, and a dessert delivered to your door. Simple and easy to prepare. What are you waiting for? 50% off right now. Nutrisystem.com/Chad. 50%. That's all plans, ladies. If you'd like to participate, all plans. Nutrisystem.com/Chad. Nutrisystem.com/Chad. Results vary. Offer restrictions apply. See website for details. Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let's find out what's trending on the old interwebs. Start first and foremost on the Google machine. Oscar nominations out today. Once again, not nominated for an Oscar, and for the umpteenth time, not seen any of the movies. We'll talk more about those later, and I'll give my assessment on what movies will win something at the award show. Nathan Chen, the U.S. skating star, had an amazing day. Greatest day ever. Apparently, by in the preliminary rounds of the skating thing at the Olympics. So you see the way I did that there? Skating thing. Oh, Kyler Murray scrubbed all social medias that he has of all of his teams, or his teammates. The quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. It's kind of weird. And people are saying it's because maybe he isn't really into football, which I think a lot of people would have told you that. He's into baseball. No way. Yep, that's a possibility. Camila Valieva. I guess that Valieva? She's the skater. She's 15. She landed not one, not two, but I think 3 quads yesterday. But I was reading an article about her. She's 15. She's Russian. And it's very interesting. They said she's the best in the world, maybe ever. Like, oh, she will be? No, like now. Think about that. You're the only one that could do that. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Head on over to the magical world of Twitter, where people are fighting. Al Sharpton is in the news because he is making the NFL come and pray to him, as he tends to do. Resist we much. We had a productive and thoughtful conversation as the NFL shares a goal of ensuring that everyone has equitable access to opportunity. We look forward to continuing the dialogue, because that's exactly who you go to when you've got to fix something and it comes to race, as Al Sharpton, because apparently Jesse Jackson was busy. Most Americans, according to Bloomberg, as it trends on the old interwebs of Twitter, think it's the worst time ever to buy a house. Housing prices are through the roof. More on the Oscars as well, as that's trending. Man, I saw none of those movies. Just want to let you guys know that. I'm doing that for you and for me, because I don't do boring. I think we know that. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Insane, stupid stuff that people say. 3 letters. Yeah, you guessed it. AOC. Talk about what she said about that evil capitalism, because it's evil. Got some Joe Rogan stuff as well. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
AOC, You guys know her. You just say her name and the controversy comes around because she's going to say something that's, well, very AOC-esque, and the way everybody goes. This time she's taking a shot at the things that she loves to, which is, anyone? Capitalism!
Because when we toss out these big words, capitalism, socialism, they get, sensationalized, and people translate them into meaning things that perhaps they don't mean. To me, capitalism, at its core, what we're talking about when we talk about that is the absolute pursuit of profit at all human, environmental, and social cost.
Is that what it is? Is that what it means to you? Well, if it means to you something, then it's got to be true. Because that's the world we live in. If something means something to you, then whether that's true or not, in your world it's true, so therefore it's true. Period. Case closed. End of story. She continues.
And what we're also discussing is the ability for a very small group of actual capitalists, and that is people who have so much money that their money makes money and they don't have to work, and they can control industry, they can control our energy sources, they can control our labor, they can control massive markets. They dictate and can capture governments, and they can essentially have power over the many. And to me, that is not a redeemable system for us to be able to participate in for the prosperity and peace for the vast majority of people.
Well, some of that, what she said, was actually true. That's the reality. Some of what she said was true. But the reason that's true is because you guys are up for sale. Politicians. Yeah. You guys are up for sale. That's the reality of it. I can go, I can lobby, I can wink, wink, nudge, nudge, throw you dinners. I can take you places. We can mingle. I can help you get reelected. I can buy favor with you, but know this, much like when you're going to the mob and you're buying favor, if you will, they're going to call in that favor at some point in time. Meaning, hey, this guy did all this stuff for me because he really likes me. No, at some point in time, there's going to be a bill in there, and he's either going to want you to get it by or he's going to want you to kill it. That's not free market capitalism. That's crony capitalism. That's it. That's crony capitalism. That's what that is. Let the free market do what free market does. Regulation is fine. Over-regulation and an abundance of regulation, regulations on top of regulations, on top of more laws and regulations, isn't free market. It just gives people more opportunity along the way to have to grease the wheels with somebody to get stuff done.
At the end of the day, it is about who has control over the very core assets of production in society. If it ultimately comes down to a billionaire or the Koch brothers or the Koch family having control over the vast majority or large plurality of our oil assets in the United States, if it's a handful of very wealthy families having control over private families having control over means of production. That is essentially the capitalist system that we live in. It is a small group that is of privatized control over what we eat and how we fuel our society.
You're full of it. Remember, capitalism has taken more people out of poverty than anything else. Countries aren't doing that. All the things she aspires to, like Europe, for instance, they should have high taxes in places. They have socialist agendas. I'm here to tell you there's no socialism in Sweden or Denmark. Oh, they may have single-payer health care, which eventually we're going to end up with in some form. And that's because you can look and say, well, you got a lot of people here who pay a lot of money into systems, and that system, because of their cronyism and cozied up to the government, it fell apart and people are pissed. But you go to Sweden, you go to Denmark, you go to Norway, which they always aspire to, right? They're free market capitalist societies. They have no death tax. They just have taxes. They don't have insane regulations. They don't. We do. We have, in many ways, more socialistic ideas and insanity than a lot of these other places do. But what they did have back in the 70s was full-on socialism in some of those countries. And that's why big corporations, IKEA being one of them, said, there's no survival here. We must leave. And then they saw that the means of production collapsed. And they're like, we can't do this anymore. We need to get away from this. How do we have a balance? But it's much different here because you can just go buy all the regulations you want that are going to benefit you and hurt your competitor. But businesses don't like regulations. No, businesses love regulations, especially big business, because the more regulations there are, the harder it is for other companies to get into their sector. The battle that you guys are going to see in the coming months is a battle that is going to happen between Microsoft and their purchase of Blizzard Entertainment and Facebook. That battle is going to be massive. Why? They're going to do everything they can to block it from happening, because if Microsoft is to pull this off, they will be the dominant ones in the metaverse where all this money is pouring into. So Facebook, who's betting the world on it, has to figure out how do we stop it down? Well, you stop it down by making more regulations and going to the FTC and say it's completely not fair. It's not.
And that's why the emphasis in democratic socialism is on democracy. And it's not about, it's just as much a transformation about bringing democracy to the workplace so that we have a say and that we don't check all of our rights at the door every time we cross the threshold into our workplace. Because at the end of the day, as workers and as people of society, we're the ones creating wealth, not a corporate CEO. It's not a CEO that's actually creating $4 billion a year. It is the millions of workers in this country that's creating billions of dollars of economic productivity a year.
Okay, let's just say we get rid of the CEOs and all the boards. We'll let the workers do it. What are we going to produce? I don't know. How are we going to get it from point A to point B? I don't know. Who's going to put their money up for this? Who's going to innovate? Who's going to think about these things? When it comes to means of production, marketing, all of these things. We all think that somehow they just grew a CEO in like a little test tube and just put it there. And it's like, no, these people work their way up. They do. Are some of them ridiculous? Oh, I'm sure there is. But there's also ridiculous workers. We act like they're all just sainted. And by the way, AOC, nobody is telling you have to take a job. You don't like the job you have? Free market says go across the street and find a better one that'll pay you more. We're seeing that right now with the Great Resignation, right? People are like, my boss won't give me what I want, but the people across the street will. Take the opportunity to go do it. That's for sure.
I'm not surprised by those comments. Those comments are now the mainstream of the Democratic Party. They woke up one day and I guess decided that Marxism was right all along and that the Cold War should have never ended. And I don't understand how people that feel that way don't just move to one of these other countries. There's so many other countries out there that actually agree with that sentiment about socialism being better than capitalism.
The funny thing is, there's like Vietnam, North Korea, China, and a few other ones. You're not going there. They know that. It's just great to say. It's good fodder. But the sad thing is there's a bunch of people that believe a lot of this stuff. They would rather the government take over stuff. Government running stuff is a disaster. See anything ever. No, workers should have rights. Who says there's no rights? Well, it's just it's not slave labor. It's not slave labor. Nobody's telling you have to work at Starbucks. You don't like Starbucks and their evil greed? Then don't work at Starbucks. Take your 4 master's degree in interpretive dance and go somewhere else. You don't like working at this factory over here? What are you doing to better yourself to get into a position where you don't have to do that? That's what it should be about. It's always, capitalism's bad. No, crony capitalism is awful. The fact that we allow so much dark money and ridiculousness, and both sides do it. Go to Open Secrets, find out who throws money at what. You'll be surprised. It doesn't even get into the PACs. Those dark, evil PACs that throw tons of money. We're going to have one of the biggest races in the country, if not the biggest, for a Senate seat potentially this year here in Arizona. The amount of money that the Democrat has raised is huge. Mark Kelly, driest human being on earth. Milquetoast. His wife, Gabby Gifford, she was shot. Remember that? Tucson. He is and his twin brother were astronauts. They went to space. He's raised so much money. I can guarantee you 90% of it's come from dark money, just flown in here from all over the place. No parts of Arizona. Because they're trying to curry favor to win. So they'll vote on a bill that really won't affect Arizonans on a day-to-day basis, but nationally could give them something. That's what it's about. That's the crony capitalism world we live in. You can sit here and cite the Koch brothers. You can look over and go Soros. He's evil and bad. Yeah, he is. And by the way, you want to talk about a capitalistic SOB? I love the way he trades. I love his financial size. The alchemy of finance is brilliant. He's a brilliant dude when it comes to the currency markets. He has wrecked countries. France begged him not to short their currency. That's the power that cat has. Never gets mentioned. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. A lot of stuff still to squeeze into. Got some more Rogan stuff and some insanity. Some CNN sanity, which I find to be hilarious. We may try to squeeze it in this hour. But, man, the fear that they have now that Jeff Zucker is gone is huge because they all know that they're going to be looking for a job. They all know that. They all get that, the guy that protects us is gone? What? Oh, my Lord. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. ruffgreens.com/Chad. Rough Greens is D to the delicious for my dogs. They love it. You know how I know? Because they lick the bowl clean. It is a supplement. Goes on top of my dog's food each and every single day. I just put a little bit of on, boom, and away they go. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, K9 VitaSmart is awesome. What it's done for my dog Doodle is huge. So you guys know that we're moving. And I've talked about it on the show. So Doodle got to the house for the first time last night. We've gone over and seen him a couple days, and we've got people that are watching the house as we get ready to sell one house and move into the next one. And he is happier, healthier, and bouncier than I've ever seen him. Every day he gets his food. A dog that had fatty tumors and arthritis, and we thought about putting him to sleep a couple years ago just because we couldn't trust him around the baby. And he is so much better than he's ever been. That could be your dog. Try it right now for free. ruffgreens.com/Chad. You go there. All you do is pay for shipping. They're going to send you a bag for free. ruffgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
What would you do?
When Leslie Mumford's phone rang last week, she recognized the number as her mother's.
But when I picked it up, I heard a woman in distress, like crying. And then finally a man came on the phone and he said, "Do you hear that? She needs your help."
Without hesitating, she transferred $900 to the man's account and he hung up. Mumford then called her mother.
And she said, "I'm at work. What's wrong?"
A scammer had spoofed her mother's number to add realism to the story. In Mumford's case, it worked.
Now, what would you do? Would you do this?
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Yeah. Now, would you be pissed if your mom found out you... Mom, they said they were going to kidnap you. What? How much do they want? 900. What? $1,000? It's $900. That's it. $900. Oh, man. Couldn't get any more from that? No, sorry, it's 900. That's all I had. It was weird, too, because I was like, I don't know if these are real kidnappers, because they want it all in TGI Fridays gift cards. Oh, goodness me. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. The Pope is sorry, guys. He wants to say that.
The response from Benedict comes after the recent release of a report by a law firm that had been commissioned by the Catholic Church in Germany. It faulted his handling of 4 cases during his time as Archbishop, accusing him of misconduct for having failed to restrict the ministry of priests in the cases, even after they had been convicted criminally.
Wait, what?
Stating he feels the pain for the abuses and the errors that occurred. He maintains he was not involved in any cover-up.
So he's sorry for something, but not sorry. It just never goes away. You want to talk about a criminal organization? For all their piousness, my goodness me, sorry but not sorry? Even when they were already convicted? You were still, there's no cover-up. I mean, we're not telling you where they are, and we've burned all the information, and there's nothing to see here, and we're going to continue to move them around once a complaint comes in, and there's no cover-up. My goodness. What are you sorry for, Pope? You know, the thing. More specific? You know, the thing. A little bit more. You know, the thing we did. No, the thing. You know, the thing with the kids and the thing. Yeah, but what? You know, the thing. Like when Andy Pettit apologized for something, but never said steroids. I didn't know what it was. What'd you take? I don't know what it was, but I took it. I'm sorry. But what was it? Couldn't tell you. There was something. Okay. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text. Love hearing from all of you. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The pump! Celebration! Pageantry! Disqualifications! Love the Olympics. It's fantastic. 5 Olympic skiers have been disqualified for baggy outfits. All of them women were disqualified for Tuesday's mixed team jump event. Representing Austria, Japan, Norway, Germany, were deemed to be wearing loose-fitting clothes that could have given them extra loft while in air. The International Ski Federation said they destroyed everything with this operation. I think they've destroyed women's ski jumping. Katarina Athaus, a 3-time Olympian, 2018 silver medalist. After the DQs came down, I have been checked so many times in 11 years of ski jumping, and I have never been disqualified once. I know my suit was compliant. It's not like they had wings. There's been some strange ones in this Olympics. Not a shocker. Not a shocker. The Olympics are strange. What did you expect? I was reading an article yesterday about the South Koreans were saying that and accusing, saying, look, every call or every potential disqualification, if it's going to benefit China, it goes to them. And the longer they look at something, the more that it seems to benefit the home team. It's not like you get a little home cooking every once in a while in the NBA. I mean, like, this is blatant. Now you got 11 total people that are disqualified, 5 from women's ski jumping. You mean the totalitarian state would cheat? I mean the totalitarian state would cheat. That's what I'm trying to say. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Speaking of the frozen tundra, I've been watching a bit of this. In Canada, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, there's stuff going on there because truckers doing them their convoy are pissed, angry, upset about what they seem to be as a complete ridiculous overreach, and they are not going anywhere, and it's upsetting all kinds of people, including the Prime Minister.
These protesters, they're not the story of this pandemic. They're not the story of Canadians. From the very beginning, Canadians stepped up to be there for one another by doing the right things, by wearing masks, by getting vaccinated, by following public health restrictions. We're all tired of this pandemic. We're frustrated. We're worn down.
Yeah, how big is that? That's like the biggest place, right, Phil? That bridge where you go across between Canada and the U.S. in Detroit? Yeah, massive. They're shutting that down. They're in Ottawa. And the entire time that I've watched this, and I've watched this unfold, and I've followed it, and it's all far-right people. That's all you hear. It's just a bunch of far-right people.
There was more than 100,000 people who donated to a GoFundMe page to support these truckers before it was shut down by GoFundMe. And a lot of these groups now want to use this as a blueprint to try to begin some similar protests in different parts of the country. There's some evidence of potential plans for one in Brussels, with everyone in Europe converging in there, or in places like Washington, D.C. as well.
Yeah. By the way, it's not just there. It is happening in other places. How about, I don't know, New Zealand?
New Zealanders have experienced some of the most restrictive measures seen anywhere in the world over the past 2 years. With the hundreds of protesters who converged outside of Parliament, they've had enough.
It's all about freedom of choice and being, allowed to govern our own bodies rather than being told.
I'm pro-vaccine. Yeah. The vaccine is a really good thing, but we should be able to decide if we want to have it or not.
Among their grievances is the requirement in New Zealand that certain workers get vaccinated in opposition to mask mandates.
Yeah. And then it gets pitched as what? Oh, it's all a bunch of crazy right-wingers. I read a great article the other day. This guy who's basically, he lives right there in Ottawa, and he's like, I see all this stuff, but then I look outside my window and I see down to Kent Street and everything where everything's going on, and I don't see all this craziness. I don't see this lunacy. I mean, I don't see what they say, and I also don't see any of the media. You had somebody the other day going, "Oh, they're all Russian plants," because they can't fathom in their minds that this could be anything other than bad people, Trump supporters, Nazis, racist, because that's the easy default, right? They can't fathom that they wouldn't just go, take my rights for all time and you decide when I get them back.
I don't know how many conversations parents have had to have with kids about not going to birthday parties, but not getting to have sleepovers. This pandemic has sucked for all Canadians. But Canadians know the way to get through it is to continue listening to science. But you don't.
Nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody listens to science if it goes against the belief that they want. Nobody does. The Europeans, right? Who do we listen to? Which science, right? Because the World Health Organization saying that don't even think about masking children under 5. The European countries are like, there is no masking in their health world for 12 and under. We're still we're just now going, all right, middle of March this year, we're going to probably take off this. Science is convenient when you can use it for yourself. That's it. 90% of the truckers are already vaccinated. And are there some idiots there? Sure, there's idiots everywhere, by the way. You put 100 people in the room, I'm going to find a few idiots. Well, I can't find any. Well, there you go then. So, yeah, are there probably some knuckleheads there? Mm-hmm. But to disqualify everything there it's bad because I don't agree with them. It's bad because, well, I don't agree with what they're protesting, so that must be bad. This is him last week before he came down with the vid. Old Trudeau.
I have attended protests and rallies in the past when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues.
So if you agree with it, we're good. We're good, man. You agree with it, so we're good to protest. If you don't agree with it, well, then it's just evil and bad. You can't control it, just like you can't control the virus. We have a saying on the show. If you're new to the show, it's called Nature Will Mess You Up. Nature will do what nature will do. That's it. You're not stopping that. And it's the same thing here. Nature's going to run its course. There's ways of going about dealing with it. But after 2 years, people have had enough. After 2 years, people have said, we've had enough. Enough of this stuff. You're finding it here more and more. People are saying, we're done. Kids are pushing back, saying, no more. Parents are frustrated. It's time to just go, it's living our lifetime, right? And you've got to make that decision for yourself. But it's hard because you can play this thing out. Case in point, last night here in America, the somber Capitol Hill.
The Washington National Cathedral tolling its bell 900 times to recognize 900,000 COVID-19 deaths. As congressional leaders gathered on the Capitol steps in remembrance for those lost to the virus. Health experts say many of these deaths could have been prevented, as just 64% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, along with just 39% of eligible children.
Yeah. Go look at the average age, well into their 70s. How many comorbidities? Nobody wants to see people die, but how many people are going to die today from heart disease? How many people died today from cancer? I'm just curious. Remember the science? Yeah, that lady last week in Virginia, she's like, since this has begun, 46,000 children have died. Out of that, 350 or so have died from COVID. You do the math. So science is good when it works for somebody, and it's not good when it doesn't work for somebody. Meaning if I've got science on my side, I want to tout the science. If it's not on my side, then we'll just continue to push the science through and saying that's false science. That's the BS of which we live. And that's the frustration that people have. It isn't even so much about whether or not the people are frustrated with COVID. Pick any subject at this point in time. They're sick and tired of feeling like they're being lied to by leaders. They're sick and tired of feeling they're being lied to by these media conglomerates who go out there and they spew this ridiculousness of, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, CBC, BBC, whatever it is, of some sort of toe the line scenario, not really understanding. Are we getting all of the truth? No. Again, doesn't matter what it is. But this is the point where they say we've had enough. They have a grim thing. You're not. My grandfather died. I don't see you guys out there because it's not political. Oh, exactly. So you'll allow Black Lives Matter and many others to raise money on GoFundMe with their mostly peaceful protests that cost lives and burned downs and did tens of millions of dollars in damage. But these guys are evil, so you won't allow them. Speaking of Black Lives Matter, we'll talk about it a little bit. Their financial stuff is hilarious. It is. It is hilarious. And what's even more hilarious is the people who ran to hand them money, their reparations, if you will, thinking it got them a check in the box of your virtue signaling. We recognize that, only to watch so much that money go where exactly? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show, Twitter, tweet. Car Shield is great. Car prices continue to go up, and up. You got to figure out what you're going to do with your car. Well, the thing is, you want to protect your car. But as those car prices go up for both new and used, so do things like parts and labor. How do you protect yourself? Car Shield's how. You get 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop. You choose the shop. They get them paid directly. That's what I love about Car Shield. So you're not worried about taking it to some fly-by-night place that's going to just get your car back onto the road. It breaks down in 2 minutes. It doesn't matter. No, you get to choose the shop. A million drivers trust Car Shield. You should be one of them. Number one auto protection company in America. Save big, 10% right now. Simple and easy. Go to carshield.com/Benson. See all the plans they have. They got plans to fit everybody's budget. Carshield.com/Benson. Carshield.com/Benson. Save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
So, George Floyd was murdered. We all saw it happen. Then the explosion after that. And it was pent-up anger, people being asshats who thought, oh, it's a great time for me to go, rob a bunch of stuff for, my cause. And, there was all kinds of things. But BLM out of that really props up and just takes off. And you wanted to be seen as the virtuous one, right? So businesses they're kneeling down and like they're doing for China, they're handing out money to BLM. And an interesting article came out end of last month and beginning of this one, New York Magazine, talking about the fact that, you had Patrisse Cullors-Khan, who resigned last year. Here's a person who's a devout Marxist talking about that. We touched on that on numerous occasions. All of a sudden, she's got several $1 million in property and she's given speeches for, $20,000, $30,000 a month, but a pop, but maybe not really. And then you've got money that's just for all intents and purposes, nobody seems to find. And then you've got AGs in liberal states across the country. Indiana started it, then Connecticut, Maine, Maryland, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Virginia. They all revoked Black Lives Matter's charitable registration, while California and Washington are threatening to hold nonprofit officers personally liable for its lack of financial transparency. One time they had $60 million cash. One person said, Attorney General Todd Rokita, Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, the legal entity that snarfs up most of the cash donated by BLM movement. He says this happens eventually with nearly every scam scheme or illegal enterprise. There are people who donated to it because they thought this is something we need to do, right? So they go and they do it, and their heart was in the right place. But the reality is they talk about this like we've seen where people who go out and they give money to something they see on GoFundMe and they want to, and then they find out it's a scam and like, oh, this in many ways was that multitude. Not everybody in Black Lives Matter or part of the management or the people that are running it, I'm sure, are bad, but they got to the money. It's like people in church, right? You watch the Tim and Tammy Faye and Jim Baker and you look at all these people who get popped over time and they got all of this money and it starts coming into them. And all of a sudden, same thing when you see in DC. That can be alluring. It could be, oh, wow. I got all this stuff. I got access to all this stuff. But here, people were currying favor, right? Oh, please, we're the good white people. We're the good white people. Don't be mad at us. Here's $5 million. We're the good white people. And since then, because it was, you're paying your hush money is kind of what it was. $60 million. It's gone. Patrice Cullors-Khan is under investigation. BLM funds were transferred to a Canadian nonprofit run by her spouse that seemed to have gone for other dubious purchases. Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, as well as several other ran to help with political consciousness now are going, where's our money? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Super Bowl not too far away. Media Day, of course, the chaos and craziness. So every day is really Media Day in some way, shape, or form. They're all going to be exposed to it, but they're all out speaking because, we want to know. Joe Burrow, the man they call Joe Cool.
I think we have the team that's capable of doing that. We've had a really good week of practice and, excited to iron some things out next week in practice. And I think we're doing a great job of eliminating the distractions that come with the Super Bowl. And, it's just going to get heavier when we get to LA, but I think we have the guys that are capable of doing it.
Yeah. Big, exciting. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. Commercials, always interesting. Here's something interesting about the commercials. What's going to dominate this Sunday's games? A little bit different. You're going to see a bunch of people coming back, right? Like the big brands you would know, right? Like Budweiser and is it Pepsi, right? They're the ones that do the halftime show. You're going to see them come back. $7 million for a 30-second spot, up 27% from last year. 40% of this year's advertisers are new companies, and they're dominated by crypto. Crypto is going all out. In fact, they're calling it the Crypto Bowl. So you're going to see huge crypto commercials with massive stars in it. Tom Brady, LeBron James. Of course, you've also got the likes of Matt Damon and several others. This is where this year's going to be. Crypto is it. Not going to be the Wiener Bowl. Remember that? Where like every other commercial was like a Wiener commercial. It's like, your Wiener don't work. It's not. This is all going to be about crypto this year because they're throwing tons and tons and tons of money at it. And why wouldn't you? I mean, some of these people who are crypto billionaires, you have no idea who they are. Beyonce, Chinese-Canadian CEO, Changpeng Zhao. So he's worth $7.4 billion. I don't even know who he is. Crypto. So who are you going to have? You're going to have CoinGecko, BitBuy, is going to be one of them. I think somebody's going to be giving away tons and tons. So the CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried's company, FTX, they've already spent huge, and of course they've got Tom Brady and the naming rights to the Miami Heat arena. They're going to be giving out millions and millions of dollars in Bitcoin for the Super Bowl. By the way, just to let you know, he's 29 years old, and he is worth a cool $24 billion. I'm going to say that again. He founded the crypto exchange in 2017. So he was 22 years old. He's like, hey, I should totally do this. Now he's worth $24 billion. Just let you guys know that that's what you can do overnight. Boom. Be prepared to be prepared. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. The fallout from Rogan is continuing. Apparently, the soccer team Barcelona, which never has a sponsor on their chest, except for UNICEF when they've done a few times, they did a massive deal with Spotify, and it has cost their president his job. And they were supposed to have the Spotify Arena, or the new campus, what their stadium's called. Now, that may not happen, and a lot of it has to do with what? Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. They're coming after Joe Rogan. And it's a concerted effort. Don't think that it's not. While what he said in today's world is abhorrent, the reality is people are just like, oh, hold on a second. Is there context in some of these things? Do we not have context anymore? Do we not have nuance anymore? Can we not have conversations? Can there not be teaching moments? And you've got people that are actively trying to get rid of him and people who are cheering that on. And all the while they're doing that, the people that are pushing this, have you checked to see if they're just people that are like, I'm frustrated and I'm a regular person, or if maybe there's an agenda behind what they're doing?
Here's the thing about Joe Rogan. I'm never going to come on any air and, sign off on him using the language that he used, because it was terrible. I can't condone the language, but I will defend his right to use it. Although I'm going to be honest, if we're going to just unilaterally ban anyone who has used these phrases, there goes the whole Super Bowl halftime show. There goes Howard Stern. Whoopi
You know
Goldberg.
what? That's the thing.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, if black people are going to use this word in our rap music or wherever it is, then what are the rules?
Yeah. Well, they can use it, but they can't. Okay. Did Joe use it in a way where he was racist? Do I think he's racist? No. Just like the other day. Do I think that Whoopi Goldberg is anti-Semitic? The answer is hell no. Hell no. But everybody wants rules. But here's the problem. When everybody says, oh, we need rules for this. The rules only matter if the person who sets the rules is winning. The minute he starts to lose or she starts to lose, they want to move the goalposts and change said rules. And I think people are frustrated. Today they got a new video out of him with Joey Diaz, and they're talking about how smart the Jews are and Asians and if they're excelling. Is that racist if you talk about that? And it's old and it's hilarious because the Patriot Takes or whoever is this that's tweeted this out, if you go and look and see who's behind him, which is Midas Touch or Medias Touch, which is this, they're all uber left-wing, super-duper, like, grifters who are just, this is what they're probably getting paid to do, is come hard. Let's get rid of them. And it works. I got reading some of the ridiculous comments about just cancel him now. Get rid of him. Put him in jail. You're just like, settle down. I mean, that's you're buying into exactly what it is that you want. They want you to do is buy into it. Get rid of him. Throw everybody out with the bathroom. Never. I am never for canceling anybody. I always say, let the free market sort it out. Let the free market sort it out. If the free market says you suck, even if you're the nicest person in the world, well, that's the free market, right? If the free market over here, still the free market, says, hey, this guy's a bit controversial, but people listen to him, well, the free market's spoken. He's not a right-winger. He's not a Nazi. He's not all that stuff is the dumbest thing. But I expect that from people who are knee-jerk reaction and emotional.
Is there a list of people who use the word?
No.
Right? I need the list and I need the rules, because to me, if a word is a word is a word and it's not going to be used by anybody, then it has to be across the board. And I'm raising children. It would make it really easy to be able to tell my biracial children exactly why that word has been taken off the table with no exception.
No question. I'm in favor of no one saying it, because when there's a double standard, there's no standard.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a lot of the frustration is who gets to say, who says what and gets punished for it, who doesn't. And it's like, it goes back to the hypocrisy. Yesterday, the big thing about Stacey Abrams, right? She's sitting there. She doesn't have her mask on. All these kids are behind her taking a picture, and it looks tone deaf. And it goes back to the hypocrisy. People at the football game 2 weeks ago, NFC Championship game. There they are, right? They're all out there, all the muckety-mucks. You got a place where it's a state is telling you have to mask up. The county's telling you have to mask up. The city's telling you have to mask up. And who do you have? You got the mayor of all of this, the governor of all of this, the mayor of the second biggest city in San Francisco, all not doing what? Masking up. And their excuse?
I wore my mask the entire game. And when people ask for a photograph, I hold my breath and I put it here and people could see that. There's a 0% chance of infection from that.
You're an idiot. And if anybody bought that, they're an idiot and they held their breath too long. It's not about whether or not you masked up. It's about the hypocrisy of it all. Why does one person get away with something and the other person doesn't? When we don't know, because we want to punish somebody. And that's what this culture has become. It's all about punishment. It's not about forgiveness. 4 or 5 years ago, I did a segment on my show. It's like, I don't want to live in a world where we can't go, you know what? Society, whatever, we should have forgiveness. We should have second chances. And if we're not going to, who wants to live in a world like that? Who wants to live in a world where we're going to take your worst situation, whether it was offhand or whether it was taken out of context, whether it was meant for somebody, whatever it is, whether it was, you could have been rehearsing something in this day and age. And somebody heard it and knee-jerk reaction. And the next thing you know, you're like, no. What? That's insane. It is. But it's not, and this is the thing, when I was talking about the ridiculousness of these people that are behind trying to get Rogan gone, so much of it is about the fact that they can't, control him. They don't know what is it that he does? What's his magic? What's his allure over people? What is it that this guy does? Does he hypnotize people? Brian Stelter last night doing Brian Stelter things because he's awful.
I think we're very much in this period of limbo where we're going to find out, are the employees satisfied with the answers? Are subscribers satisfied? We don't know, Don. Are a lot of subscribers canceling Spotify, or does nobody really care? That was a great headline on the LA Times today that summed it up really well. Spotify knows Joe Rogan's podcast is hurtful, but gosh, there's money to be made, and this is ultimately about money. But it's also about editorial and about what values you want to portray through your content. Spotify could very well say, we're going to have a little bit more of an involvement. We're going to have right now they don't have any involvement. They could say, we're going to have a little bit of involvement to help make sure your program's not just entertaining and crude and provocative and whatever. We're actually going to make sure someone's involved and helping you make the best version of yourself and make sure you don't repeat the mistakes you made in the past. Yeah. That's not cancel culture. That's a way to improve the content, improve the quality. That seems to me to be the way forward.
You're awful, and everybody knows it, Brian Stelter. You're awful. It's the way to make the best Joe. He gets 11 million downloads a show. 11 million. They knew they were out there, by the way. Don't think that people didn't know they were out there. You're doing your homework. You knew bringing him in was going to make people uncomfortable because of the trans situation, because of things that he said in the past. You knew bringing him in. Yeah, and you're into him for $100 million, by the way. And that contract, I'm sure, is ironclad. You don't hire people to be provocative and tell them when they're provocative, we're going to fire you with no safety net. He said at the beginning of this thing, and can my ass today. I got all that money. Outside of probably killing someone, he's pretty much getting his paid. He's getting his money. But to listen to that, we can make him a better version of him. People don't watch you guys. They listen to him and watch him because he's interesting and you're not. It's that simple. You guys are sterile and boring, and you cut a narrative that's the same over and over. You never know what he's going to talk. I watched yesterday. He had a guy on that talked about Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis. And I was fascinated by it. I was fascinated by it. Which, by the way, we have to have a conversation because last time I checked, there is no lost city of Atlantis. So because of that, that's probably fake news, and we should get rid of him. It's misinformation and disinformation. Bunch of clowns. They're jealous. They don't have what he has. They don't. They don't have what he has, and they don't know what it is. And probably if you ask Joe, he goes, I don't know what it is either. You know what it is? You're curious, and you're entertaining at the end of the day. And yeah, you're wrong a lot. Who isn't? But you're entertaining. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, Youngevity. I take it every day. You get up. I got up so early today because I tend to do that. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Get here extra early, work a lot, and I need my energy, and that's where Youngevity comes in. Take it every morning. I start with my tangy tangerine, right? So it's going to give me tons of energy. It's got all kinds of pre and probiotics, delicious, awesome. Youngevity, incredible. Then with my Healthy Body Starter Pack, I go straight to Beyond Osteo FX, which helps with maximum absorption with my just all of this incredible stuff with calcium, magnesium. Then the Ultimate EFA Plus, covering a full range of omegas, optional for my brain and my heart because I want to be healthy. Youngevity has got all of these amazing products right now shipped to you absolutely free. So you're not paying anything for shipping, coming directly to you. Things for your heart, your health, weight loss, whatever it is that you're looking for, they've got it. And it is good. Go to ChadBensonHealth.com right now. Kickstart True Wellness and experience these amazing products for yourself. ChadBensonHealth.com or call 855-321-HEALTH, 855-321-HEALTH, or ChadBensonHealth.com. Free shipping right now. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
I care about the way that information is conveyed to us and whether or not that means there's an agenda at play. For example, I don't think Joe Rogan does have an agenda at play. I don't think Joe Rogan stops that podcast, which takes bloody hours, and goes, right, what's next? Like, these people do, though. I think what's at the heart of this is you're jealous of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's what it is. Jealous of Joe Rogan. It makes me laugh. Makes me laugh, kids. Makes me laugh. Why can't we stop him? Why? Why do people want to listen to him? Why? I just love that. I just love when Brian Stelter freaks out. I could listen to that all day. That's entertaining. Just bring him on to freak out, like hair on fire, and he doesn't even have hair. That's the other part. That's hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, the Oscar nominations are out.
The most love for The Power of the Dog.
What you doing? Getting mixed up with her.
The Western drama getting the most Oscar nominations, 12, including nods for cast members Benedict Cumberbatch, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons, Cody Smith-McPhee, and a nod for Best Picture, where it's up against Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, West Side Story, and the film with the second most nominations, Dune. The Oscars air March 27th on ABC.
Did not watch a single one of those, and I'm pretty proud of that. But I did watch some of the movies in the Razzies. If you don't know what the Razzies are, they are the exact opposite of the Oscars. Let's talk about the Razzies. So the Razzies are given out to basically awful, awful, awful movies, or movies they deem to be awful. This year's big winner seems to be Bruce Willis, and we'll get to him in a second. But let's talk about some of these horrible movies. Jared Leto gets a nod. He played Paulo in The House of Gucci, and if you watched it, you're like, what is that? The big winner movie-wise is Diane the Musical. That's the one that everybody says is horrible. Space Jam, The Woman in the Window. Karen. Karen is a movie about a white lady who hates her black neighbors, and it's kind of like a horror movie. But a Karen, it's just socially stupid. First of all, it's just awful. So there's that. And infinite. So, but the big winner, I'm telling you guys this. I'm telling you guys, you ready? Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is nominated for Worst Performance by Bruce Willis in 2021. He did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly 8 movies. American Siege, Apex, Cosmic Sin, Deadlock, Fortress, Midnight in the Switchgrass, Out for Death, and Survive the Game. He makes movies like my buddy Nick Cage does. And he'll make any movies. Nick Cage does that better than anybody, though. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait for the Razzies. I will watch many of these. The other ones, not so much. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter, your Instagram, all of that good stuff there. Follow along across all the social media. You guys have a blessed day. It's Tuesday. Go get a taco. Night, night, Jack.
Chad Benson Show.